What if you could see the world through the eyes of a detective? Imagine spotting hidden clues in a simple conversation or solving everyday problems that leave everyone else stumped. It's not about wearing a trench coat. It's about upgrading your thinking. Today, we're learning how to think like a detective to sharpen your mind and make better decisions in your everyday life. Hey everyone, and welcome. We're about to explore how adopting a detective's mindset can completely change how you handle challenges and interact with people. By the end of this, you'll have a toolkit of simple but powerful techniques to think more critically and solve problems like a pro. Ready to get started? Let's jump in. Problem identification. We all make countless decisions every single day, right? But how often do we just go with our gut, only to regret it later? Have you ever completely misread a situation or felt totally overwhelmed by your options? That usually happens when we take things at face value instead of digging a little deeper. But what if you could train your brain to analyze information like a detective and find the truth hiding just beneath the surface? Let's break down the core techniques detectives use that you can start applying to your own life. 1. Ask better questions. One of a detective's greatest skills is asking the right questions. We can do this by using open-ended questions. So instead of asking a friend, "Did you like the movie?" which just gets a yes or no, try asking, "What did you think of the themes in the movie?" See the difference? One ends the conversation, the other starts a real one. A great trick here is the 5 whys method. It's simple, just keep asking why to get to the root of a problem. For example, if you're feeling stressed at work, don't just stop there. Ask yourself, why am I stressed? Maybe it's a specific task. Why is that task so overwhelming? This helps you uncover the real issue, not just the symptom. 2. Connect the dots. Detectives famously use evidence boards to see the bigger picture. You can do the same, just without the messy corkboard. When you're faced with a lot of information in emails, conversations, or just your own observations, try to find the connections. A simple way to do this is called chunking, which just means grouping similar ideas together. It makes complex information way less overwhelming and helps you spot patterns you would have otherwise missed. For instance, if you're looking for a new job, don't just make a list, group the pros and cons into categories like work-life balance, salary, and company culture. Suddenly, what really matters to you becomes clear. 3. Actually see what you're looking at. Being a detective means having a sharp eye for detail. Start paying attention to the small stuff, the weird pause in a conversation, someone's tone of voice not matching their words, or a sudden change in their body language. It's not just about what people say, but how they say it. This skill helps you pick up on unspoken information. If a friend seems distracted while you're talking, don't just assume they're bored. Maybe something else is going on that's taking up all their headspace. 4. Beat your own biases. To think clearly, you have to know about the mental traps that can fool you. A big one is confirmation bias, where we instinctively look for information that proves what we already believe. To fight this, actively look for evidence that contradicts your assumptions. Challenge your own theories. Another trap is the knowing at a glance fallacy. That's when we jump to a conclusion without really digging into the facts. The fix is simple but not always easy. Slow down and do the work before you decide you know the answer. 5. Develop some empathy. Thinking like a detective is about more than just cold, hard facts. It's also about understanding people. When you see someone acting a certain way, get curious about the story behind their actions instead of just judging them. For example, if a coworker seems to be rushing and making mistakes, don't just assume they're careless. Maybe they're dealing with a personal issue or a crazy deadline. This shift in perspective leads to better teamwork and more compassion. 6. Become a better problem solver. When you bring all these skills together, you naturally become a better problem solver. Next time you're facing a challenge, approach it like a case. First, investigate the problem from all angles. Then, gather your evidence and consider different perspectives. Look for those hidden patterns and root causes. And finally, draw a conclusion based on the facts, not your gut feeling. Even for something fun, like planning a vacation, this works. Instead of just picking a place, research different spots, weigh them against your budget, and think about the kind of experience you really want. It almost guarantees a better trip. 7. Use it everywhere. This isn't just a fun thought experiment. It's a practical skill at work. It helps you sort good information from bad and come up with creative solutions. In your social life, it makes you a better listener and a more empathetic friend. You can even teach these ideas to kids. Encourage them to ask questions and think about why people do what they do. It builds self-awareness and gives them a thinking toolkit they can use for the rest of their lives. So now I'm curious to hear from you. Have you ever had a detective moment in your own life where you uncovered a hidden clue? What happened? Let me know in the comments below. Conclusion. So to recap, thinking like a detective is all about asking smart questions, analyzing evidence, paying attention to details, checking your own biases, and having a little empathy. When you start using these techniques, you'll find yourself navigating life with a lot more clarity and confidence. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button, and be sure to subscribe for more content like this. Feel free to share it with anyone who might enjoy learning to think like a detective. And remember, the next time you face a mystery, big or small, you've got the tools to solve it. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.